Election day this year was a historic day as Donald Trump, despite being viewed as a long shot just days before voters flocked to the polls, defeated Hillary Clinton for the presidency. Iona College political science professor Dr. Jeanne Zaino has been incredibly busy making television appearances as a pundit both leading up to Election Day and in the aftermath. She took a few minutes out of her hectic schedule to sit down with us to discuss the election and how she teaches it to her classes. How have you used and taught the election in your classes? How have you incorporated it into your lessons?
Well, it's been an exciting year and students have been incredibly engaged. Of course, this is the last group of millennials who are voting, and millennials now make up the largest voting bloc ever in American history. So young people are tremendously important in the political realm today, and I think we've seen this in the current election. So in class, students are incredibly engaged. We talk an awful lot about civic engagement. We talk an awful lot about voting, electoral reform, how to become a registered voter. So many students, this was their first year voting. And then we also talk a lot about where people stand and who they supported. And, there was very strong feelings on both sides in terms of Trump and Clinton, and even to down ballot races. But I think the most important thing we stress in class is that everybody should have the ability, regardless of where they stand on the political spectrum, to voice their opinion, and we try to do so civilly and respectfully and engage in a collegial conversation.
Now, what are your biggest takeaways from the election?
That it was an incredibly unpredictable year, that you never know what's going to happen in politics. Between Brexit and this election, 2016 turned out to be, something of a, really a minefield for political scientists and analysts like myself. Also, I think we really did learn about the importance of people, and that for as much as the, political class can try to dictate and talk about what they think is important and how things should be, when people do rise up, they can have a tremendously important impact.
So Clinton ended up winning the popular vote. What do you think about the Electoral College? How much of an impact does that have?
It has a huge impact, and so we are the only country with an apparatus that works in this fashion. Of course, it was designed by the framers for very good reason. In the aftermath, we've seen a lot of discussion as to whether we should get rid of the Electoral College and replace it with the popular vote. This was obviously only the 5th time in American history this happened. The last time famously was 2000. And while there was a lot of talk immediately after 2000 about getting rid of the Electoral College, it didn't happen. I doubt it's going to happen this time as well. I think the discussion is worthwhile, but I also think the framers had very good reason. I mean, for very quickly, it was a compromise between the large and the small states, and it's a compromise that still matters.
Thank you, Dr. Zaino. To keep up with all of Dr. Zaino's media appearances, follow her on Twitter, @Jeanne Zaino.